All right, everybody, welcome to the LongBox Paradox, episode 100. I can't believe we got here. I am joined by Jennifer. Comics Will Break Your Heart on YouTube. Comic Books Will Break Your Heart on Instagram. And very proud to have John's Comics with Kids with us. You can catch his X-Men articles on Comic Tom 101 or his channel. He did the pull list for next week's releases of what he's picking up. I was actually able to make one of your shows for once because I was actually awake. And I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such films as Lead Paint Tastes Good. Sorry, I was watching The Simpsons this morning. And that episode was on. I'm Dan, Comic Shop News. And thank you for joining us. I appreciate every one of you who tune in, watch us on the tape delay, I guess you'd call it, whatever the replay. It's kind of weird getting to 100 because there was a time I was ready to quit repeatedly.
We all go through that phase. Absolutely. Yeah. Again and again and again.
Yeah. It's always that weird thing of, I got a thumbs down. Why? I can't figure it out. And just weird, like, I put so much work into this. Where are my views?
Yeah.
It's one of those weird things, and I had to, like, finally get over that aspect of it. So anybody YouTubing, if you're doing it to make money, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Don't.
If you're doing it to get together with your friends and have a laugh and talk about what you're passionate about, that's what it is. And keep to a schedule, which we haven't been the greatest at, but we've always let everybody know we're switching.
I feel like this channel, like on mine, I have like no schedule. It's like I kind of worked on a video, I guess I'll release it, or I worked on a video and hated it so much that a month later I just said, screw it, let me just go live. So
I did edited videos for a year and a half, and just it was not a great thing for me, because listening to my voice over and over and then being like self-critical, going, I look fat there. How can I edit this out?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that one. Yeah. That's a good one.
So tomorrow we have our book club doing the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Monday it's the Dune Over, which we're going to be Sydney Les for 2 weeks because she's moving. And then Tuesday I think we're doing something on Jen's channel, because why should we rest? Maybe
we'll see.
And I just booked our second creator to come on the show and do a spotlight with us. The writer Steve Orlando from Commanders in Crisis, also famous, starting the Midnighter Thirst of Grayson. So really excited to have him on. I've been working with him for a month trying to get a date that works. Unfortunately, election night is the only night we could get.
What a good counter programming.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't watching a ticker on one.
I've done a show every night. There's been one of the debates, and I've been like, "Hey, if you don't want to watch it, I'll entertain you."
Yeah, much more entertaining.
So, anything going on your channel that we should know about, John, or any articles you have upcoming?
Yeah, you mentioned the Thursday. I drop a video every Thursday looking at the week ahead. I'm already looking at the books I'm getting the week of November 4th. The one I dropped this Thursday is for next week, the 28th. And then, I got the Omni X-Men show every Tuesday and book club on Wednesday night with my friend Alec. So always a few shows going on during the week. And then, the articles I post on Comic Tom Comic Tom 101 every Monday for kids comics and every Friday for X-Men.
Also a weird speculation thing that popped up today. Gotham Academy #1 blew up.
Oh, really?
It's selling between 25 and 50 now, because Max is the new Robin in the future thing they're doing.
State.
Yeah, and then America #1, the second print, blew up as well.
The second print.
The second print.
I've got 3 copies of #1 of that.
Yeah, it's just weird. The second print for some reason is blowing up. I looked on CBSI today because I always check just randomly, and I was like, why is this? And I'm always saying why constantly with spec.
That should be your reaction.
It's a dark Illuminati that like control what books get hot.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's so weird because like I went through some of my like I've been going through my collection, and I'm off this week, so I'm gonna go ahead and take some time and go through my books and like figure out what I want to sell. And I was like pulling out some, and I'm like, why do I have this random ass like Venom from like 10 years ago? And then I like scan it into the like app, and it's like, oh, it's worth $30. And I'm like, who the fuck is spending $30 on this random ass Venom book? And I'm like, I'll take your money.
Right.
So it's nothing that's really like important to me. So
Ron calling you.
He every book I gave him a deal on, he's always like, hey, this book's going up. Hey, this book's going up. He's always getting me. But hey, no, I want you to have it. I was able to do a lot of good stuff with that exchange. So congrats, man.
So let's go ahead and start into the reviews with 10 of Swords, X of Swords, whatever you choose to call it. I will say, Sid, hello. Hello to the Spice Girl from our Dune show, one of the Spice Girls. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. And thank you for the workout thirst pictures every day. It's been nice.
Whoop, whoop. It gives me motivation. Like, I'll be completely honest. It gives me a lot of motivation because I kind of sort of work out, and I really don't. But
well, I mean, every time you eat a taco, you got to go from like point A to B. That just looked wrong.
It kind of did. I'm like, I'm only gonna do this once.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna start out Excalibur.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hate that book. I hate it with a passion. I still hate it. I've hated the whole run except for one issue.
I started off really liking this.
Thank you, Sid.
I really started off liking this book, but then because of like moving and all of that, I didn't keep up with it. This one, I don't know. I didn't love this issue, but I don't hate it, but
I kept saying, what's the point?
I think it's just because we need another sword.
Yeah.
I mean, like, to be honest,
we got 2 swords in this one.
Yeah, we did.
It's
We
true.
did. So that's wise because we needed a sword or 2.
The writing just wasn't doing it for me, and it was in that like Marvel House style where it's clean, but it felt cartoony at the same time. Like, I don't know. Like, it just, I hate when there's a book when the art or the writing doesn't capture my attention, and it's just kind of eh. And that's what the book was, eh.
Yeah. I expected more of like the cult because next week is basically going to be like the halfway point. I'm going to call it like the pyramid point. So I feel like I expected more out of both of these issues. But yeah.
I felt like this was definitely one of the weaker ones in this last 5. But that for me, the biggest problem was I felt like there were so many threads that seemed important and amounted to nothing, especially and I don't know if I want to even name the person, but like the death that occurs. I don't understand why more people aren't talking about this character apparently dying because there's no evidence that she didn't die.
Yeah, like,
how do you kill off a character that big and then not have any repercussions or comments about it or tears being shed or anything?
I think because we got desensitized to people dying in that book.
Yeah, because they don't. They do.
Well, but you can't resurrect her because she dies in Otherworld, so they can't bring the version we know and love now back.
It's true. Like there's some weird choices in this book.
I mean, I loved the twist of it, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to get really meaty here." Now we just upped the ante for this issue, and I was excited. And then all of a sudden, it was like, "Nope, we're going to act like that didn't happen now."
Yeah,
and that was the biggest. That's what took the wind out of my sails on this one.
X-Men 13 caught me by surprise.
Why is that?
I should not have Apocalypse giving me feels.
Yeah.
Like, and now learning what that whole survival of the fittest thing, with his obsession with it, it's an interesting twist, and I'm like, okay, Hickman, you got me. Mahmoud Asrar's art was like on point in this book, and the what was the name of the two swords they talked about? It was like God Cutter.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I forgot.
and how like his wife Genesis is like more powerful than any of them.
Yeah, you know she's not dead, right? There's no way.
She, I think, is the one wearing the mask.
She's the villain in this.
Yes,
Clearly.
100%.
That's not even like almost like not even a secret for me.
No, it's not even veiled. Like it's just, hey, this is happening. So,
Grass Cutter and God Killer.
yes, the flawed one was the God Killer, and the other one was Grass Cutter.
Yeah,
I loved the story of Apocalypse and how he gets stuck on basically normal Earth.
Normal Earth.
Whatever it is, like, because it's not Krakoa, it's not Aroka. I don't even know what the hell it's called.
Arako, I think. Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed this book. Like this for the week, we've been just grouping the X of Swords books together and doing like a blanket grade on them. This one escalates the week up quite mightily for me. So
I think
sorry.
compared to last week, like, because last week I felt was like a dip, especially after like Wolverine and Storm, which I really enjoyed, and then there was the dip last week. I feel like this was slightly above last week for me.
I loved X-Men. Yeah, this was easily the read of the week for me. I just really enjoyed the humanizing of the continual humanizing of Apocalypse, and putting him front and center is always going to work for me.
I'm dropping those tears.
Do you feel like do you feel like they're setting Apocalypse up to be like the next Magneto? Because I feel like with Magneto, like obviously introduced as a villain, and I think maybe it's just me maturing as a person, maybe it's like comics maturing, but like Magneto to me is not a villain. Do you think that they're setting Apocalypse up the same way?
You would think so. Since the Hickman took over, he slowly kind of turned him a little bit, being less insidious to being more maybe chaotic, neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get the feeling that it's quite possible he dies at the end of this story. I feel like
they killed him when they went to Otherworld.
Yeah, I feel like he's got to fight in the tournament and be the one to sacrifice, and then maybe his wife decides to come and continue on his good works after him. I don't know. I get the strong feeling that he's not going to make it out of this event.
Either that or his wife won't. Like, I think they'll
kill each other.
Oh.
That will be their Romeo and Juliet moment in their love.
And they just like fall on the sword together.
Two swords thrusting at the same time.
One sword, two people. Like 2 girls, 1 cup, right? Is that how that works? I'm just kidding.
2 mutants, 1 sword.
2 mutants, 1 sword. Yeah.
Here's the cliff.
Yeah.
We went off.
So no, like, if I were going to grade them individually, like I'm a solid 8.5 on X-Men 13. Like, I think that highly of the issue.
I gave it a 9. I think as an overall enjoyment of read, I think I was at a 9 on that one.
Like Excalibur, I'm sitting at like a 5 on. Like, it's one of those, like, it was there. It kind of moved the story along, but it didn't give me anything. Again, like that death. It thud.
But I do feel like that's been the tale of Excalibur for me anyways, is like really amazing choices and then they don't do anything with them. I mean, I'm still holding a torch for Rogue Apocalypse to this very day. Like I'm waiting for the moment when Rogue Apocalypse still becomes something useful. So it's the tale of Excalibur is like, we got an idea, but we still know what to do with it.
And then
so I gave it a 7. Sorry.
It's the one shot is next week or this coming week, and it's got like a billion different internet retailer covers.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Whenever I watched your video this week, John, the pull list one, and you mentioned Stasis, and for some reason I was like, wait, what? That came out this week? What? So he gave me like a mini heart attack because I thought that I forgot to pick it up, and I'm like, I'm screwed. I won't know what's going on now.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Look ahead, yeah, definitely can throw your week off, especially when you're just depending on what day you buy your books too.
Yeah.
Because I'm now getting mine on Tuesday, but I know some people don't get them until Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
Welcome, Old Wolf. Thanks for
Hello.
stopping in. Rod, the pull list is epic. You did a great job moderating for John, by the way.
Yeah.
He did. He's a good friend, man. Good friend. And he mentions Hellions too, and I know that Dan did not like Hellions.
No, I liked it. I like the Mr. Sinister parts of it were hysterical, especially him playing rock paper scissors with himself.
Oh my god, the noble contest. I mean,
yes.
I will forever call rock paper scissors the noble contest. Now it was amazing.
And then I want your cape. Oh yeah, come
on. The winner gets the cape.
Yeah.
So good. I loved that. It kept me laughing a whole bunch. And then, but yeah, Cable was a big letdown last week. That one disappointed me a ton.
Cable has been so much better. And it's been so good up until that issue, which is the weird thing.
Surprisingly, that's been one of the series that I never thought that I would like. I did not know that I needed a fuckboy Cable, but I apparently do in my life. But you're right. This maybe it's just because the way that it had to fit into the Ten of Swords stuff or whatever.
Which it even didn't. It was just the whole episode or issue amounted to him just getting his sword out of the machine that he had put in the machine the previous. But it was okay, then was this really amounting to anything?
Yeah.
I need to talk about something that popped up recently in a lot of news. What are your thoughts on this whole Marvel Aliens thing? Is this just a cover gimmick, or are we going to actually have them cross over?
I think it's just a cover thing. Because at least that's what I think, because it's supposed to be they're just variant covers, and it's mid issues of everything. It's issue 23 or 20 or maybe 25 of Captain Marvel, whatever it is. It's just the mid issues. So I think that they're just going to do variant covers.
Yeah, it's definitely a cover gimmick, but I think they're setting us up for the idea that they want to include aliens into this world at some point or other down the road. But for right now, they haven't written anything, they haven't planned anything. They just got a whole bunch of talented cover artists together to give them something fun to throw on January covers.
I'll just throw it out there: Daredevil, Predator, give me it.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
Well,
I want that Captain Marvel one.
Ooh. The 4 one when he's smashing his head with the hammer.
Yeah.
But my thing is does this negate the usefulness of the Brood now? They basically got the aliens that they always wanted to have in Marvel, and they don't need the Brood anymore. They just phase the Brood out and phase the aliens in.
Yeah, pretty much. They could do that. So let's go on to our individual picks. John, since you are the guest, we'll let you go first.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still a big Something's Killing the Children fan. I've been enjoying the run. I do love the way this new story arc is expanding Erica's backstory a bunch. We got to see stuff about how she first experienced these monsters. Met the woman who maybe rescued her, who is now apparently going to be at the end of this issue coming to hunt her down.
There's a black room and a white room.
Right.
What are the differences of what they do?
So yeah, I've been really enjoying the way they've expanded the universe. I think the background of the agency behind Erica has been the best part about it. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward Stranger Things-y kind of story. I think Erica makes it interesting.
I think that it's nice that we're finally getting more of her story, because what was it, 2 issues back, there was a weird emotional moment with her that fell out of place, and then this makes it feel more connected, I guess. Gotcha. I understand why they did that.
Yeah, it's weird that it's one of those things James Tynion, the weirder the book, the better his writing is. It's he's such a good horror suspense writer that I'm reading his Batman and I'm bored by it, because I know he can do better. And that's a weird fucking thing to say, considering how much I hated Tom King's Batman. We're like, there's a ton of shit happening in Batman now, but I'm just like, like James Tinney, the Department of Truth. It's such a strange fucking book that, like, I put it down. I was like, I have no idea what I just thought of this. Like, I could go either way with it.
I feel like there was like mixed feelings on Department of Truth. Like, you either really like it or you really hate it. And I'm in the I really like it. Just because I think that it's going to go weirder places. So I really love Department of Truth.
It's a book fueled by Twitter.
Right. Twitter and the dark places of YouTube, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had issues with the, like, I don't want more conspiracy theory nonsense right now. Like, I felt like if I had read this book maybe in a few years or a few years ago, I might feel differently. But yeah, I did not. I can't. I'm too close to it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rod kind of nailed it. It's X-Files type of book, which is weird because I said that, like, the person in charge of the Department of Truth reminded me of the cigarette smoking man from X-Files.
Yep.
So what do you got on Something's Killing the Children? What would your grade be?
I think this issue's probably an 8.5, somewhere in there.
I think the last issue I liked a little bit better, but I think it's because they revealed so much about Erica.
Absolutely.
Also, I like that the dragon of their Society of St. George or Order of St. George has a teddy bear that's kind of a dick.
Well, it's interesting because they did give us some information about the little stuffed animals and what they represent, and it adds a whole new layer to that little. I want to go back and read the first arc and see how that little octopus. Right?
Because I originally when they introduced it, I thought it was the Order talking to her through that.
I did too. I thought it was a walkie-talkie.
Yeah. So yeah, them putting the monster that killed her family in there. That's
now, it doesn't mean that it doesn't negate that theory, because clearly the monsters maybe they can speak across to one another. So it could be a very telephone of some kind, because she did seem like she was communicating to home base. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. Jennifer, what you got?
Okay, I want you to guess which one it's going to be for me.
Well, I mean,
it's going to be Dune.
Of course it is.
Because of course it is. Which, like, seriously, the Chris knife that you sent me is beautiful. Like, I don't know where I'm going.
By the way, we have a guest appearance.
What?
The community's champ.
Yay, Rob.
The Coconut King.
Where's your hat?
What's up?
Yo, what's going on, man? I wanted to jump on and hang out with you guys for a few minutes, man. I'm still gotta get things ready for tonight and for tomorrow, but man, I had to jump on the show, man.
I appreciate it, man. I'm always glad to have you on and in the chat.
Who's this guy right here?
I hear he likes X-Men.
Only a little.
How you doing, Rod? Oh,
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just here prepping, dude. Just here prepping.
Oh wow. What's prep work?
Yeah.
Oh,
prep work is me, like, reading all the books like 15 minutes before we go live.
Yeah, like tomorrow for book club, I'll be reading Sabrina right before we go on.
Yeah, same.
So you Dune.
Oh, so, like, first of all, thank you for sending me the coolest freaking Chris knife ever. Like, Josh is literally, like, watching me because I'm unboxing it, and I'm just like, and then literally, like, I end the video and he's like, why did he buy you a weapon? Those are literally the first words out of his mouth. So I really appreciate it. I can't wait to hang it up. So I do want to go. I do, yes. The Gom Jabbar needle. So anyways.
Wow. All right, Sid. What did the show just become?
It's been this way the whole time.
I know.
Okay. So maybe not really quick, but so anyways, I've been waiting for this comic book to come out since it was announced, I think earlier this year, late last year, whenever the hell it came out. I really, really enjoy this a lot. I had to read it a couple times. Once as someone who's obviously read the book, read the series, and then another time as someone trying to read it with fresh eyes from the perspective of someone who is completely unfamiliar, but is just excited about the movie coming out.
They took the 3 prequel series and put them into one, because that's House Carino and Harkonnen. They all put into the same book.
Yeah. I haven't read those books. So
I did.
Anyways, I really enjoyed this. I like the art. It's pretty fun.
I was a 7. I liked it. I didn't love it.
I enjoyed it a lot. I would give it at least an 8.
Fair. Rod, since you just jumped on, what you got, brother?
I'm gonna bust your balls, man. You guys are talking about aliens, man. Sinister 6 had me laughing the whole damn time reading it. I had to go back a few times and read it again. I was just like, is this really happening?
Oh, the Mr. Sinister stuff was fantastic. That was the book for me.
And then they were like, well, you got to go through the portal or whatever. And he was like, well, not me. I'm not going through there. Someone else got to go. Yeah. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Is this really happening?
But with Magneto, when he's like, I nominate him, go now. Let him go.
Yeah. It was the best council meeting I think they've ever had.
100%.
When they took his cape, that was priceless.
Did you guys read Daredevil by chance? I know we got Daredevil fans in the house. That end.
I have not read it, but I don't care about spoilers or whatever. Drop it on me, man.
Matt Murdock shows up to counsel Daredevil.
Mike, what? Yeah, Mike is back.
Mike Murdock. Mike.
Yeah, twin brother or whatever brother is there. And it seems like that little Daredevil annual might actually be a bigger part of the story.
And then threads coming back from old stories with Kristen McDuffie coming back to be his, and him telling Foggy to go fuck himself.
Wow, really?
A lot of legal drama, and then you get some Spider-Man hanging out too.
Yeah. Oh man, they have a bro hug.
You know what? Let me show the hug because that was a great moment. That was a hilarious, awkward hug moment. Let's see if I can find that hug spot quickly.
It's not your fault. Shut up, man. It's not your fault.
Right? It was a very Goodwill Hunting moment.
Very much.
Yeah. Spidey just like Spidey does not want it. Spidey does not know what to do with this hug. He's not even putting his arms up. He's just like, wait, what's happening right now? Why is this happening? And you get the sense that Daredevil's just like, go with it, buddy.
Literally, like basically, Spider-Man's like, awkward. You're in my personal space, like.
And you can't forget, Spidey's just a teenager, so he's like, this grown ass man is hugging me. What the hell is he doing?
It's like, you're not Tony Stark.
Yeah. Exactly.
What's yours, Dan? What's your pick of the week?
Okay, so this is always dangerous for me. I read Scumbag #1.
Oh, I got it and I haven't read it, so drop it on me, man.
This is a very rare book that you bought it. I did not love it. Like, it just kind of like, it got so absurd that I'm like, all right, like, this guy is so fucked up and trashy, like, even I can't take it. It's like Mark Millar did like 2 tons of cocaine and was like, what's the worst I can write? All right, here we go. And like, it was just too much for me.
Wow.
This book, I knew I was going to hate this book, and I have a reputation for having like a love-hate relationship with Rick Remender, and after the last couple things I've read by him, it's like teetered towards more hate, and now this wipes any good that Deadly Class did for me. it's like all hate at this point for Rick Remender. And maybe it's because, and if there are children watching, and maybe don't, but like there's this moment, spoiler alert, where we see Mr. Scumbag just shitting himself.
That was the panel where I was like, I'm done.
I knew this book was going to be ridiculously dumb, and it was even more ridiculously, not even in a good way. Like, I feel like there are shows like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they're all pieces of shit, but you want to watch it anyways. Or what's the one?
That is a good ass show.
I love It's Always Sunny. That's one of my favorite shows, and they're all pieces of dirt. They're all horrible people, but I want to keep watching. And then what's the one with William H. Macy?
Shameless.
Yeah. Obviously, every single person on that show, even the kids, are horrible kids, but I want to watch it. This, it's horrible, and I don't want to read it. And of course, maybe I'm supposed to want to read it because this beautiful woman at the end is like, the fate of the world rests in the hands of the worst person on it, and she's the coolest character, and I just want a series of her. But the rest of it is trash.
I'm sorry, Sid. I know you're going to say that you don't even know me anymore. Look, this is one out of like a million Remender books that came out that it's too much for me.
Did you read it, Rod?
I have not read it yet.
Sorry, it's spoiler alert, but
no, I don't see. That's the thing. I don't mind spoilers, so that does not bother me one bit. It makes me go out there. I want to be like, I want to know what the a is so bad about the damn book. I want to read it myself. Okay.
So I gave it
don't bother me.
A 3
out of 10.
Yeah.
I would say you probably gave it a slightly higher grade than I.
I thought the art wasn't terrible.
Yeah, but for me, it always goes back to like crappy art doesn't ruin a well-written story, but a crappy story can have the most beautiful art. And this is an example where it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Can't carry any of the weight.
Nope.
And I think the back of the book, Remender mentions a bunch of other like inspiring characters from story, whether it's Tony Soprano or Walter White or whatever. And my problem was, all the examples he gives are characters who have some element that compels you to want to read more or watch more about them. And they went out of their way to make sure this guy had none of that. They worked really hard to make sure he wasn't intelligent. He wasn't charismatic. He wasn't funny. He wasn't good-hearted in some way. There is nothing here.
It's like he watched Train Spotting and lost the charm of the horrible people in that movie. And weirdly, I went to that level with Train Spotting because of that whole bathroom scene with Renton.
But I mean, Train Spotting has the charm of Ewan McGregor, and this guy is charmless.
But it is a cool cover, though. At least, I mean,
artwork again. The artwork, as Dan mentioned, is great. I loved the 70s movie poster homage thing here. I don't know what it is, but it reminded me of some old detective novel or something. It was just very pulpy.
Well, it was get me the McConaughey from True Detective, the older version, and make him look scummier.
Yeah.
All right. Time is
all
a flat
right.
Nice.
John, your pick.
Well, thankfully you saved me from having to mention that one, so that takes a load off. Let's go. I got Venom here. I read Venom 29. I know there's a lot of people not enjoying Venom Beyond, this story arc where they're in the future.
I feel like it's filler to get to King in Black.
And I kind of disagree, because I think the whole point of the story is to flesh out Dylan, who has never really been given an opportunity to have us dissect his psychology. I feel like Dylan has always been baggage that somebody stole him and he's got to get him back, or you watch him so that I can go do that. It's always the thing that somebody needs to hold on to. And this is a story where they show, the two paths diverged in the Yellow Woods, and he can become the horrible villain or he can become the hero. And it's like, where's Dylan going to go? And that, nature versus nurture stuff or whatever, you get this look into what Dylan is capable of, because that's going to be the crux of King in Black. And so forcing Eddie and Dylan to look that in the mirror, even if it's the dark black mirror, then they can come back to our world knowing what's at stake.
I have to read that. I got the new issue. I didn't get to it yet to read.
Yeah, the new issue really does look at the two Dylans, and because you get Annie telling Eddie and Dylan basically what happened to Dylan in her world and how he ended up where he is as Codex, right? And what that has meant to her, because then it gives Eddie the chance to understand, okay, well then how do I make sure my boy doesn't become hers?
Yeah, I got to read that then.
I would probably give this one an 8 out of 10. I've never felt like there's only been a few issues of Venom over the whole run that I really disliked. I've been enjoying it all the way. Even Venom Island. I liked Venom Island. Nobody liked Venom Island. I like Venom Island. I've been a Venom
T-Rex. I can't not like.
It's been one of the only runs where I've gone almost 30 issues and never questioned stopping. I've just wanted to keep going. And I haven't done that with anything else. Everything else I'm reading, Immortal Hulk 25 was perfect. I stopped at 25. I was good. I don't need more.
This morning on your Saturday show this morning, without your kids this time, you kept saying villain Dylan, and now I want to read it just for that. Dylan villain, villainous Dylanus is
the Vidillin.
The Vidillin, yes.
Jennifer?
Oh, so it's me. Okay. So let me see. There was a lot this week. My stack was my non-Dune stack because I picked up 6 issues of Dune this week. One that I really enjoyed, and I feel like it was a really good Halloween book, was Madam Satan from the Archie horror universe. I really enjoyed this one. It says that it's a one shot, and that makes me really sad because I need an entire series of Madam Satan.
It's all right. They'll start writing it and then just drop it and forget about it.
And then just drop it. Yeah, we'll get one volume, which after this I would be happy for at least one volume of this story. The artwork was really good. We see kind of a little bit of a love story-ish, but not really. Man, like I said, I think that this is a really, really good Halloween story. So I'd probably give it 8 out of 10, maybe 8.5, 8.5.
I got it in my stack. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, it was good.
Rob,
I know that's I wish that I had a better review other than it good. I want more. But that was pretty much that sums up my feelings about this week, is that it was really good and I want more, and I'm sad that it's a one shot. It deserves more.
Yo, I picked up a bunch of books. I really haven't gotten around to reading them. I'm always, come on, man. What else is new? I'm always late behind in my reading.
Well, what's a book that you've been reading that you've been enjoying?
Come on, man. It's Daredevil, man. Daredevil, that's the one I've been reading. I got that on my pre-order. I'm waiting for that to get to in the mailbox shortly. I'm trying to think of something else right now. Good Lord, brain fart. Maestro.
Maestro, yeah.
I think that one's pretty cool. I got to get issue 3, and that's the one I'm missing. I don't know how I passed that up. But yeah, man, shit. But there's one I have to say. I'll whip it out right now. I'm not whipping it out, but This Dead Day.
I didn't read that.
I don't know if you guys have been reading this. It's Ryan Parrott, Aftershock. There's a bunch of the zombies coming back to life, and they're hanging out with families once again. And it's they do it I think it's once a year type of thing, but it is freaking nuts, man. I mean, hanging out with dead people in a bar. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So
I'm really bad with Aftershock. That's a publisher I don't pick up a lot of books from.
Yeah,
it's one of the few. I picked up Devil's Highway #4 from AWA Upshot. Continues to be a solid book. Like, if you like True Detective and kind of books like that, further the conspiracy of these truckers that are like kidnapping women and like having like ritualistic sacrifices. And basically it's like all these truckers have this giant conspiracy because nobody notices truckers.
Yeah, and AWA's has just been putting out fire, and kudos to Lost in Comics, man. They've been having interviews with those guys. So I have to say, man, AWA just came out of nowhere, just dropping out.
Yeah, the Benjamin Percy, who writes Wolverine and X-Force, currently is writing this title. I'm really digging it. It came out of nowhere, and I just picked it up because the cover kind of caught my eye on the first issue, so I've stayed with it. Staying about 7.5 on it out of 10.
Oh, nice.
John.
I mean, you've gone through everything I got this week already, but I have finally finished the East of West second trade. Slowly working my way through this epic series, and I legitimately think I would have to take like a day to describe what it's all about to anybody.
There's a wiki that breaks down the whole timeline of the book.
Yeah, I mean, but if I was gonna like make a synopsis for this, I really think I would struggle. But I do enjoy the fact that I've been reading this and reading the current Apocalypse storyline in the X-Men because
there's
I'm
symmetry.
surrounded by 4 horsemen everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of symmetry between Apocalypse currently and Death.
Yeah.
Like a little bit.
Jeff removed his eye and like gave it to the Fate at the end of this volume, and it was like disturbing. That was probably the most disturbing portion, is watching him give his eye out and then like continue on this bizarre dark journey to the ends of the earth.
And that was before the Hickman info dumps really started.
Because volume 3 is when we really see that, like, here's all of the information, like the backstory-ish going on. East of West was my first introduction into Hickman in like 2014. And man, like, that's where I fell in love with Jonathan Hickman. And I'm like, man, he's such an like underappreciated writer. And now, like, 6 years later, he's doing 10 of Swords and I love it. So East of West.
Is it done? Is East of West done?
Yes.
Or volume 10, I think, just dropped 3 months ago.
Quarantine time it dropped.
That's the finale.
Yep. It had a definite end.
Okay, because I've got the first 6 trades, and I'm just kind of like, okay, I wanted to get. Somebody said do the first 3 if you can, and then you can take a break and do the second 3.
Yeah.
So that's the book that I need to read, and then there's another one. 100 Bullets that everyone's telling me. So, good
Rod,
Lord.
I think you'd enjoy. Actually, I think Rod, I don't know, East of West. I think you'd enjoy Descender probably more than East of West.
Descender's awesome.
As far as a good indie, as far as like an indie read, East of West, I feel like it's so complicated that I can't read anything in between. I have to sit down and just try to power through the trade. If I don't, I got to go back and read the first again just to remind myself of all the little details.
And you're right, John. Where
no.
It's hard to describe East of West because you want to say like it's in this weird post-apocalyptic story where the South won instead of the North winning in the Civil War, but it really has nothing to do with that. That's just kind of the history, but it doesn't describe it at all.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, because it combines so many things like science fiction technologies and the future and classical like cowboy tropes and mythology. Yeah. And there are so many layers to what's going on. That's just and that's just the setting. right?
And I'm so slow. I can never. I would never get used to that book because it just won't happen.
Yeah, it is so dense and complicated, but I'm really enjoying it.
I like Monstrous, but man, that's a slow book.
It is.
I'm 2 volumes in on Monstrous. I haven't gotten past the second trade yet. But anyway, so yeah, I've been enjoying this, and I've been trying to work one of these volumes in with my weekly reads each week.
I think 100 Bullets is another one, though. You have to concentrate. Even though each issue is its own, like, one shot, it kind of goes into an overarching storyline, so there's lots of threads being laid out. There's a particular issue, though, where it's Joe DiMaggio is in the hospital, and basically he admits to killing President Kennedy for Marilyn Monroe.
I think it's part of the Counter Fifth detective storyline. At the end of it, I think. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's because this guy shows up and he gives a case with a gun and 100 untraceable bullets and said, "You've been wronged. You can have this and you can solve all your problems." And throughout it, he's going to all these different people and giving them to him, and you kind of see what they're doing. If they do it, if they don't, if memory's been taken. It's an interesting series, but it's one that it's very dense. It just keeps going and going and going. But The Sender is one, like, even if you just picked up a Sender, you can follow what's going on.
Yeah,
I think Descender, despite having a whole variety of characters and being a lot of sci-fi universe information, is a very pure and simple, kind of straightforward plot. And I think that's what makes it so compelling. And then you throw in all these really interesting, unusual characters. And I honestly, I think it's my favorite Image book at the end of the day. Like, the 6 trades of Descender as a story are probably my favorite Image storyline.
Our friend and co-host on the Dune Over, she is still pissed at me because I didn't put Descender in my top 10 Image titles.
I would be as well. I'm going to leave this show right now.
It's one of those things, like, we had to kill some darlings, and like, Image, we cut Wildstorm out of it completely too. So like.
Well, yeah, but I'm also like, I think some of the ones that like are people's biggest favorites at Image, like Walking Dead, I can't stand. So like for me, like I'm sorry, I know that Jen's got a lot of Walking Dead love. I only get like 2 volumes I got 2 volumes into Walking Dead, and I'm like, I know exactly how this is going to go. I don't need to read anymore. I'm good.
Yeah.
Listen, like, there was no way I was leaving Invincible off the list. Think what you do about Kirkman, but Invincible was a great series, and I had a lot of Warren Ellis titles that, you know, in hindsight now, kind of. Look, it made honorable mentions. Like, not everybody can be happy with a list. I mean, everybody's list can be picked apart, I'm sure.
And at the end of the day, the lists are personal. You know, there's going to be a reason why Bitch Planet is one of my favorite comics, but it's not going to be for everybody, right?
It's true. I mean, someone might have Stillwater as their favorite book, not me.
Well, actually, you mentioned Stillwater, and I started to read it, and then I heard your voice in the back of my head. I closed the book. And I was like, I don't want to finish this. I just like stop. I mean, I was just like, no. Stan is in my head.
Did you get any type of enjoyment out of it, or like? Were you enjoying it and then you stopped, or did you feel the sense that like there was nothing?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I just felt like shit. There's no point in reading this. This is hot garbage water. Dan and they took over. I tried to focus, but I kept hearing Dan and you in the back of my head saying, "This was shit. This was garbage." And I tried to read. And I was like, I just went, the hell with this damn book. I just
that's making me feel bad now.
And I was just like, something came to my head. I was like, Chip Zdarsky, Daredevil, made me happy. I looked at some Daredevil books, and I was like, he's still the man.
By the way, Cicchetto's art on Daredevil, he should never leave that book. He is so on point with his art in it. Like, he is a Daredevil artist. Like, just that's all he should be doing.
Yeah, it's so good that I even completely skipped the Alex Ross Timeless cover. I'm like, I want the Chichetto cover all the way.
It was a good cover. It was a damn good cover. His Spidey was on point too.
Yep.
That on sidetracked by Stillwater. Whose go was it? I don't even remember now. Oh, okay, you got Stillwater.
I think so. This is not one of my picks, but I quickly just want to say, even though I hated issue number 1, I still picked up issue number 2. I liked it slightly better than issue 1, but I still don't see the point. So my actual pick.
Did you see Image Comics like pushing Merciless already? Yeah.
Yeah, put me out of my misery. Mercy, kill me, please. But anyways, my third pick is actually going to be King Tank Girl. This was really fun because there's several different stories in here. You get this really cool. The first story in this is actually really fun. Tank Girl is talking about how she wants to collect all these toys from her childhood, and then Booga's like, oh, I actually had one of those toys. So they end up going to Cornwall, where they're searching for the toy, and lo and behold, Tank Girl finds Excalibur and pulls it out and becomes King Tank Girl, the ruler of England. So this was really cute. I really enjoyed King Tank Girl.
Nice.
Yeah. 8 out of 10, which is like just solid enjoy.
Wow, you've been just
yeah
eating everything today.
You know, after reading Scumbag, it's like it's all made up and the points don't matter, right? After reading something.
It's funny because I told Dan that I bought it, and he's like, "Oh man, I can't wait to hear what Jennifer has to say."
Hated it, and this is going to be one of the ones that I hate, and I'm not going back for issue 2. Like, sometimes something's redeemable and I'll go to issue 2, and this one definitely not. So and Rod's just reading it right here.
The other week, when Rorschach came out, Dillbot messaged me. He goes, "Hey, this book is fucking hot garbage, like on toast."
On toast. Wow.
Yeah. So he's like, "Are you buying it?" I was like, "No, I'm not. Like, I'm boycotting it because of Alan Moore." And he goes, "You sure it's not because of Tom King?" I was like, "Well, that doesn't help."
Yeah.
But I was like, "Well, Jen's gonna buy it, so let's see what her review is gonna be." And he's like, "Oh, I'll be tuning in."
Actually, I can't believe I'm looking in this book again. Oh my god.
Mine's upstairs, bagged and boarded.
Oh.
I actually filed my shit away for once as soon as I got it, which is rare. It's really rare because usually it stacks up, and I'm like, "Oh, the cat's gonna get to these. I need to move it."
I've got 100.
He really he just like sharded or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go to the next page. Go to the next. Rod, flip to the next.
The next page. Turn one more page, Rod.
Turn one more page, Rod.
Oh Lord.
This is a great question because I file them away.
Hey Tina, remember at the beginning of quarantine when we're like, how are we going to get toilet paper? That's what I have a collection
ironic?
The kid is like, man.
I have some issues of Major X that I'm saving for the next toilet paper shortage.
Some of the kids got no teeth. I give this an 8 out of 10 already, man.
Oh.
The one kid had hardly no teeth. What? Oh man, yeah. I'm looking forward to reading this one.
Well, when he's like, "I want the full what was the full platter or whatever," you have every STD with the hooker. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like, I said that this is like crazy Mark Millar, like worse. And Mark Millar's done some crazy shit. Hey PJ, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us. Rod, anything you got to add?
Oh man, I don't have anything else to add, but I'm looking forward to reading this scumbag. So
and you've got Coast to Coast tonight.
yeah, I gotta do that show tonight with my homie Jeffrey Thompson, and we're just gonna hang out. We're gonna be talking about some of our top 10 books or expensive books. We'll hang out and do that, man. Tomorrow I gotta do the usual show. I'm still hunting for small channels in the community, so that's why I got my book out. Still searching some channels, making some notes.
And tonight, Coast to Coast at what time?
8:00 Eastern.
Eastern. Right on. Also, like, I got to shout you out for constantly giving us a little bit of support, shouting us out. Like, even when I was doing my edited videos, you found me and kind of boosted me up a little bit. I really appreciate that. And, having us on the show also, just means a lot.
Oh, man, this is what it's all about. And it's all about having fun and supporting each other. And John's been there by my side since day one. He's been a close friend to me. And I remember the one time using the car, John, and the kids called me. And I was like, yo, they were like, hi. And I was like, oh, sorry. So, that's what it's all about. It's not a one-time deal. I tell everyone that I hang out with, and here's my number. Text me, call me. Let's become friends, and I like to keep it that way.
Yeah. When I was going through my shit, you would message just saying, hang in there, and that meant a lot. And also, Jen and I had a ton of fun on your show. Probably dragging it way down with some of the questions we were answering.
Hey, I
love it
for those questions. I'm not responsible for the questions. I will take full responsibility for the answers, but not the questions.
I love every minute of it, and I'll be more than happy to bring you back on. And I have to say, you guys, 100 episodes. That is a milestone, and congrats. You guys don't get enough love, and you should get more love. And that's why I was sharing everything. I shared it on Facebook, and I think I shared it on Twitter. So just keep rocking, guys. Keep rocking. At times, you probably get a little annoyed. You want probably more views than certain things like that. And even John knows. But as long as you're having fun, keep doing what you're doing. F everyone else, and then that's the bottom line. Just keep doing what you're doing.
We talked about at the beginning, like, if you're going in trying to think that you're going to make money, you're going about it the wrong way. And like, since quarantine started, and it's been Jennifer and I every week just getting together, laughing, and whatever people joined us. We literally have a show that barely anyone watches, the Dune Over, but we have so much fun doing it.
Yeah.
So, plus, like, it started devolving now. Like, the randomness started kicking in, going off topic of the book. We talked about himbos for a good 20 minutes.
That was fun. And I'm sad Sydney was not there.
And sex nuns.
And sex nuns. But that's just a theme of the books. Like, that's not random. That's part of Dune.
Thank you, Glitter and Duct Tape. I appreciate it. For my last book, it is the death metal one-shot for Robin King. If I could pull out a prop, it would be a horse and a stick, and I'm going to beat it to death. Because that's what this character is going to be. It's going to be the new Batman Who Laughs.
Oh, man. I'm not picking up any more death.
But did we get another origin story? Did we get to see the pearls in this issue?
There were no pearls.
Did the pearls... Okay, then maybe I'll read it.
Robin King has no pearls.
Okay.
He shot his own parents and then framed.
God.
And then put the pearls on and wears them.
Yeah.
It's on the belt. Bedazzled the buckle with the pearls.
Alfred, I got my pearls. Don't worry. I'll make them fall. I'll throw them on the floor.
Yeah.
we don't need to see the origin again.
Yeah.
Like, we just don't. Like, and this goes to any superhero movie that has had more than 3 movies. Don't need to see it. We don't need to see Uncle Ben get shot unless you're going to do something really fucking weird, like he died from autoerotic asphyxiation or something like that, like David Carradine. Like, if you're going to make it weird, like, go there.
Yeah.
What was your barely legal Batman?
Excuse me, I'm here. Okay, so I know that the people up at DC, I know that you're watching, and I'm just gonna do my little sales pitch for you. Jennifer, I'm here to write because we've got Batman Year 1, we've got Batman Year 100. Let's do Batman Year 18, barely legal, and let's do some crazy stuff with Batman. I'm here. I'm here to give you an origin story with some pearl necklaces.
Where's Batman Year 69?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there we go.
Robin's one cup.
Oh, he's sweating.
Boom.
So, I'm gonna give
Home
this a
run,
6.
baby.
I'm gonna give this a 6. But if you want to read something good, read Josh Williamson's run on Flash. Great writer, great dude, one of the nicest people in the industry. Like, just support his stuff. That is my serious sales pitch. Fuckboy Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
It's gonna be like Cable, where you're gonna have young thirst trap Cable.
Yep.
And by the way, Magic gave him the fuck me eyes at the end of Cable.
100%. There was a moment between Magic and I'm like, I'm actually here for it to happen.
But Dan is like the biggest Cable fan, and now
I'm not though. That's the thing. I like this book, but I fucking like hated Rob Liefeld's Cable. Old Man Cable was boring.
But fuckboy Cable, all day, every day, man. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I mean, the best issue was with Emma Frost, where she's staring at him and she goes, like, literally, like, Emma Frost was just like full on giving him like, that's the noble game. Don't challenge the noble game.
That's it.
Hey, 1-2 Comic Talk. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, poor Mike, for watching the Dune over on the replay. And Cable last issue, not as good as some of the past ones, but like, I'm enjoying the series still. Phil Noto's art is fantastic. And they had Space Knights in this series, and I'm a huge ROM fan from way back in the day. So I'm here for it. So I think that ends our comic talk. And now
for the movie talk.
Yes. So we decided
now
to do.
Dan's gonna bust out his thing. Yeah,
I'm like, what?
Yes, that for the 100th episode, it was just going to be like raunchy, get me kicked off YouTube. So we decided to do John Carpenter's The Thing. Little back history on this movie. It almost ruined John Carpenter's career. He had to do Starman as a apology for this movie.
Yeah.
Like, literally, he didn't think he had a career after this movie. Nobody wants that.
I 100%. I'm here for it.
This movie came out, unfortunately, sandwiched in between E.T. and Blade Runner. E.T. trounced Blade Runner and The Thing, and both movies ended up being completely like tossed out of theaters because they wanted more screenings of E.T. And for these 3 movies to come out in the same month within a week of each other is crazy. Because
that would never happen today.
No, not anymore. Because everybody's like, "Oh, Wonder Woman's coming out. Get the fuck out of that month." Or this movie's coming out. Like, get out. So one of the best practical effects movies, besides maybe American Werewolf in London.
I think I read that there was over $1 million spent on practical effects for this movie. Like,
and it was this guy's first job.
Yep.
In
Rob Bottin.
1980 too. $1 million in 1980.
Yeah.
Yes. Kurt Russell and John Carpenter. I mean, they were a great team during this time between Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little China, and the soundtrack or the score to it completely builds the suspense and paranoia. He got spaghetti western composer Ennio Morricone to do the score, and it was brilliant. Dean Cundy, who did Halloween's principal photography, did this, and you can kind of see some of like the way he uses shadows to build suspense. I could go on and on about this movie, but one thing, if you get to see it on a bigger screen, Dean Cundy in post-production, people not infected by the thing have a little speck of light in their eye.
Oh.
He put it in post-production, but you can't see it on your TV. But I listened to the commentary, and he said in post-production he put a little glint in the eye, except at the end of the movie, which we will get to. Jennifer, your thoughts on the movie?
So this is the first time that I've watched it as an adult. I think that I remember watching it as a like kid, teenager, but on TV with like commercial breaks, and obviously they had to cut a lot of stuff out. Like, I guess I just never noticed them like smoking pot in the movie, or else me as like 10, 11-year-old Jennifer would have been like, they're smoking. So like there's things like that were completely new to me. However, my favorite part of the movie, I'm not gonna lie, is Wilford fucking Brimley just smashing the computers and just that was my favorite part of this movie. Other maybe if I'm gonna go ahead and do like a professional review, the soundtrack really builds the emotion. Like I really enjoyed the soundtrack and the what am I trying to say? The environment around it, the mood to the movie, whatever it is. I really
Big
enjoyed. But man, just watching Wilford Brimley go to town on all this shit with the axe, loved it.
Oh, he's like, get away from me!
Kill the machines!
Yeah, I'm fine. You can let me out. I'm okay now. And there's a noose hanging in the cabin. Like,
Man.
That's my thoughts. Those are my hot takes. Is Wilford Brimley going to jail?
John?
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic. I think it's a shame that it was not recognized in the time that it came out, but clearly it didn't take long for it to become a cult classic on VHS, and I saw it a ton as a kid. Probably much younger than I should have seen it.
The dogs that still to this day like freaks me out when the dog's head splits, and
I mean, for me,
you'd hate it, Rob.
It's obviously it's a gore fest in a lot of sequences, but it's really a thriller at its core. Like I think it gets known for the effects, which are incredible and really ahead of their time. But the beauty of the film is the suspense of not knowing what's going on. That sequence when they're all tied to the couch is Hitchcockian. It's like so good. You're sweating because firstly you don't know if this is even going to work. It's just a theory that the blood of the creature would respond the same way the creature would. So he's testing a theory, and you don't know what's going to happen. You have no clue what's going on. You have the people you think might be aliens and the ones that are not. And you've just got McCready there trying to figure it all out, and the faulty equipment. It's very creative, and Wilford Brimley, top to bottom, is amazing. The reveal of the tunnel under the cabin, and the people who I saw somebody on that line. They disappeared. Where'd they go? All those little moments, and then they think McCready's the alien, and then he's breaking in the storeroom, and there's so many great cat and mouse tense moments, and that's what the movie is so perfect at creating.
The blood test in particular, just the tension and paranoia while it's going on, and Kurt Russell looks like he's about to crack during it, and it does so well at building the paranoia between the music and everything else, and just trying to guess who is it, who's infected, what's next, and the paddles.
Oh my god!
when it opens up and bites the guy's hands off, like then the head pulls off with the spider head, like
the spider head, and they're all just watching it.
I mean, that's what I do. I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, and as I watched it when I was like 7, and I just remember sitting there like, what is going on?
Yeah, the legs pop out, and then all of a sudden it just rises up, and you're like, okay, this is messed up. And it's upside down. Yeah, the whole thing.
Kurt Russell also, like, he has like the greatest, like, I guess, tagline where the creature reveals itself. He's got the dynamite. And he goes, fuck you too, and throws it. Like, also that scene where he gets back in the cabin. He's got the blowtorch and he's got the dynamite. And he's like,
yeah, he's all crusted over.
Yeah, I think McCready might be like the first like great Kurt Russell thing, because like he's kind of like the rogue like Han Solo of the movie a little bit.
I'm looking at his filmography here. I mean, he did escape from New York before this.
Yes,
and obviously Pliskin is an amazing character.
He is. I thought McCready just was interesting because like you kind of get a look into his idea, like. He's a sore loser. He loses that chess game and just pours his drink in it.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. That's a great moment.
And they hadn't even been there that long at that point, and he's already kind of losing it. And then they go to that Norwegian cabin, their outpost, and like the guy who cut himself open, you just see the frozen blood coming down from the wrist. Like interesting things. Like, and then the prequel they put out like recreated it. Almost scene for scene of like slavishly of where the axe was and everything else. Now to the ending, which I've gotten into fights with people about. I had a girl I was dating who hated it, but she loved the end of Inception. And
see, that's somebody you got to cut out of you cut those people out of your life. That's the reality.
Well, she kept going.
Those are the make or break moments.
She's like, "What the fuck's the point?" I was like, the whole movie's been paranoia and tension. And you have these two guys now who don't like each other, like basically staring at each other across a burning down camp. And they're drinking whiskey. Which there's a theory that actually it's gasoline.
Ooh.
That he's trying to see if it kills him.
Well, I mean, I would...
the only
thing I guess... When it comes to the ending, I would just sort of quote The Big Lebowski, and they're nihilists. They believe in nothing, and that's kind of the point, right? Like it's just if you had either the tragic ending where we knew the alien lived, or the happy ending where you knew the hero lived, it would defeat the purpose of the movie, which is that you should feel unsettled and unsure, and that's what the movie needed. It's the perfect punctuation to that movie.
Jen?
I got a lot of watching this. I got a lot of vibes of The Lighthouse, especially the nods to like it's very Lovecraftian, like that otherworldly, other dimension maybe. So I feel like it really reminded me of The Lighthouse in a similar but different way. So.
I think the end lines were perfect where Child shows up and he's like, "Where were you, Child?" And he's like, "Well, I thought I saw Blair," and he disappeared. And then well, what do we do? I guess we're just going to sit here and wait and see what happens. None of us are in any condition to do anything. And then it just pulls up and you just see the camp on fire, like, and it just goes to black. Like it's the perfect ambiguous ending of like a choose your own adventure. Like you're in your head figuring out what the ending is. Which I'll say is close to Inception, where you see that top spinning and it's wobbling just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
So I kind of like to make my own ending to that too. But
I don't remember watching this movie. I don't. I need to go back and watch it. I mean, and just like the thing, I hear it in my head. I'm just like.
So like after Alien, this was like probably the greatest sci-fi movie after that completely bombed. Like the Big Trouble in Little China commentary is basically Kurt Russell and John Carpenter drunk. Really? And they're talking about it and they're shitting on each other's careers. Because John Carpenter's like, I like The Thing almost ruined me. He's like, I had to do Starman. Like I was dead in the water. Like that movie destroyed me. And Kurt Russell's like, I've only had one hit. It was Overboard. He said that made more money than any other movie he was ever in. And then he's like, it's great. All my movies become cult classics afterward and don't do shit in the theaters.
That's the story of Kurt Russell's life. Yeah. He has so many like horror stories of movies that he's like, this was supposed to be the movie that made my career, and it just never works out.
Well, Big Trouble in Little China, it was supposed to be a Western at first. John Carpenter wanted to make a Western, and then like things got completely like sideways, and then they decided, well, we're gonna make this Asian American the hero of it, and the movie studio is like, oh no, we're pushing Kurt Russell even though he's the sidekick, and completely like mismarketed the movie. But
I mean, Tombstone was a disaster. He said the original screenplay for Tombstone was supposed to be one of the best things he's ever read in his life, and he's like, the director was a complete train wreck. Kurt apparently directed portions of the movie, like because they were having so many problems, and they had to cut huge chunks of that film out and just kind of make it work. And some people love that movie, but it's like he's like compared to what the script was, that movie did not get made.
I love that. That's probably
I love that movie.
My only Western movie that I love. I had a friend. I remember he gave me the DVD. He said, "You like Western movies?" I was like, "Hell no, man." He was like, "Just go watch Tombstone." And it was like one day I was bored, had nothing to do in my mom's basement, my parents' basement. I'm gonna watch this damn Tombstone. That Joker in there, and holy coconuts, man.
Val Kilmer's so good.
Chocolate. Man, that movie was fantastic.
Yeah, but he says it's like only a quarter as good as the original script that he read when he signed on.
Wyatt's my friend. I don't have many friends. Johnny Ringo. I do love that movie. It's one of those ones that, like, if I'm not feeling good, I'll put it in and just... And I will unabashedly say Roadhouse is a terrible movie, but it is entertaining as fucking. Sam Elliott, when he's ready to throw down, that hair goes back in a bun. Yep. And then the whole...
Pain don't hurt.
Oh, always be nice till it's time not to be nice. Well, how will we know? I'll tell you. I thought you'd be bigger. Opinions vary. Like, Again, like there's some dumb movies that are just feel-good movies sometimes.
Absolutely. They're candy.
Aliens for All of Hudson. Like
Aliens, I having rewatched Aliens and Alien recently, I think Aliens is slowly becoming the better movie for me. And I never thought I'd feel that way, but it is slowly becoming the better film.
See it, poor Mike. And yes, The Sandlot is an awesome feel-good movie.
Rod and I both have the You're Killing Me Smalls t-shirt.
My favorite movie all time, man.
So of course I recommend everybody watch The Thing. Just make sure you're paying attention, turn the lights out, get some popcorn, and enjoy it. For me, it is a 9 out of 10. Like, I feel that strongly about it.
I'm going to go full 8 out of 10 on this one. 8 out of 10 across the board on all my comics and movies this week.
You're the 8 out of 10 queen.
Yes.
I mean, I think a 9 out of 10 is about as low as I would ever give this movie. I might even consider going higher for this movie.
I don't think it's a perfect movie. That's like, there's very few 10s that I'd give out for movies.
Let's see. I'm checking my LongBox account and see what I gave. I gave it 5 out of 5 on LongBox.
Oh.
So, or 4, was it 4.5? Sorry, 4.5. What is that? 8? No.
9.
9. There you go.
But I'm also the same guy. I don't like Empire Strikes Back as much as some people.
I think I usually I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. Like either I like it all the way or I don't mix and match. So I have a ton of 5s, 5-star films, and for what it is, it's perfect for what it is. You know, I don't expect it to be Schindler's List. I don't want it to be Schindler's List.
Yeah.
No, I don't need it to be Schindler. Oh God, I don't need to watch Schindler's List ever again. Like. There's a couple of movies that I've watched once and I will never watch again. That's one of them. Like, it was fine. Like, it was educational. I don't need to see it again. Avatar, I saw it in the theater. I never need to see it again, ever.
I would say that one's a good. I disagree. I've watched Avatar again.
See, I saw it in the full 3D theater experience, so I don't think I will ever get that experience again. So I don't really feel the need to watch it. There's a horror movie, Martyrs. I watched it. I will never ever watch it again.
I'd rather watch Avatar than watching Nightmare on Elm Street and The Exorcist, the two damn movies that traumatized me for the rest of my life. That's why I can never watch a freaking scary movie ever again. So yeah. Avatar all the way.
Ooh. They're two different beasts. Halloween is a full-on suspense film. The Thing is like a sci-fi effect fest.
Horror versus a sci-fi thriller. It's very, very different, but they're both masterfully great examples of their genres.
Yeah, Halloween to me is, obviously I'm a huge fan. Huge Carpenter fan in general for a good amount of his movies. They're just sometimes The Exorcist is one everybody puts that as the greatest horror film. I'm not sure if I really put it up there, but boy, when it came out, that was salacious, that movie. Poltergeist scared me more.
Poltergeist is probably one of those movies that I remember as a kid. Definitely
that fucking clown.
Yeah.
That fucking clown doll wrapping around the kid's neck. Like, I was scared. Like, it's a little too much, but I had a rocking chair in my room and I had an Alf, stuffed Alf. I put it in the closet because I was scared Alf was going to attack me.
Dude, when they did The Exorcist remastered, that came out in the theaters, and I don't know why. Me and my friend, we were in Philly, and we were there was a Puerto Rican parade going on. We met some girls, and we were just like, yo, let's hang out, man. We exchange numbers or whatever. And we were like, let's go to the movies. And I said, okay, we're gonna watch. My friends like Exorcist. I was
date movie.
Holy crap! The girl had her head on my shoulder the entire time. I had my eyes closed, and the only part I seen where this chick is crawling down the steps, and I could not sleep the entire. Anyways, I was just hell with that movie, man. I gotta bounce out of here, man. I gotta get ready. So
yeah, I gotta get ready for work.
100, man. You guys are amazing. I love.
Congrats on 100.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all coming on. Rod, I really appreciate you coming on, and just you stayed on way longer than I thought you were, and I appreciate that. Good luck with your show tonight. I mean, you and Jeffrey always kill it.
We'll find out how we do tonight. You never know.
Also, we got Perry out there with his horror movie videos, which interesting that he's doing those now, doing the 31 to 31.
All right, guys. Take care, man.
Take care, Rod.
Reese, I love you guys, and keep rocking, man. Don't stop what you're doing, man. Don't break what's not broken.
I appreciate it, man. Take care. Peace. So anything coming up on your channel, John?
I'm not doing any shows on my channel until Wednesday. I've got book club this week on Wednesday, so I'm sure we'll be breaking down TMNT Last Ronin and maybe some other indies that might come out. And then I'll drop an edited video on Thursday.
Jen and I have Chilling Adventures of Sabrina book club tomorrow with our good friend Gambit. And thank you, Santa. We also on Monday have the Dune over with Sid Nocinia. Again, she's moving, so we got 2 weeks without her, but I told her she needs to keep up with her reading. And possibly something Tuesday with Jen, even if it's just some random bullshit.
Yeah. We'll see.
And then the regular weekly show after that. And then November 3rd on election night, we have Steve Orlando, writer of Midnighter, Justice League of America, Rebirth, and his current book, Commanders of Crisis, which is a 12-issue limited series, I found out.
Maybe that would actually be a pretty good election night thing to talk about, Commanders in Crisis.
They're all presidents.
Yeah.
From other Earths. So one of the books that when people say they don't get representation in books, this one goes way out of its way to give representation of everyone. Mm-hmm. Again, thank you, John, for coming on.
Thank you.
Great talking the thing, and glad the schedule's worked out with Baltimore Comic-Con, with what you're doing there. Thank you, everybody in chat, for coming in. And, of course, Rod, for coming in and celebrating with us. I totally appreciate all of you. You make it worth coming here every week. And a big thank you to, of course, Jen, Rod, and John for supporting us. The Comic Queen Nat, Sid, Gambit, Cinia Reads, Tattered and Broken, my friend Nicole, for supporting me through a lot. And I couldn't have gotten here and make it through that, guys. So thank you. So everybody have a great day. I am off to work and unload trucks. So enjoy, buy comics, support your LCS, and get the fuck out and vote.
Go vote.
It's your responsibility, and the world is on fire right now, and only we can put it out.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
That almost became a G.I. Joe infomercial with the... Oh, God. Oh, what was it always like? I forget how it always... Knowing is half the battle. And then what was the thing on like the Saturday cartoons where they had the...
The more you know.
The more you know, the star shooting through.
Yep.
And then like conjunction junction, what's my function? And how a bill becomes a law, all that stuff. Showing my age. But again, thank you. I appreciate everyone. And come check us out on Sunday and Monday. I'm cannibalizing all my views by having way too many shows and probably going to be on burnout by the rest of the week.
Probably.
But thank you. Take care. Farewell. Goodbye.
Bye.